Welcome to this week's Garage Devotional. I'm Ted. I also pastor Connect Church in Ventura. We are still in our series out of the book of Proverbs called Coffee Time with Solomon the King. And we're in Proverbs 6, verses 6 through 15 today. I'm not going to read that to you today, but you could please go back into Proverbs, read Proverbs 6, verses 6 through 15. So it kind of gives you a little bit more context of what we're talking about today. But what we're talking about today is lifestyle, and what is a healthy lifestyle and what is not a healthy lifestyle. And today we're talking about laziness leads to lack. Laziness leads to lack. How many of us have ever been lazy? My hand's up. It's right there with you. Solomon is not addressing the person who periodically has a lazy moment. We all have those, and that's okay. What he is addressing is the person who lives a lifestyle of laziness. It's funny that he uses ants as an illustration of a productive lifestyle. I don't know about you, but I had an ant farm when I was growing up, and I put it together and I put the white sand in there, and then I went out in my neighborhood, found a dirt field, and began to look around for red ants because they were the ones to get in there. The black ants didn't work in those ant farms. Got a few bites that hurt to get them and then get them into it. But once they were into it, I was amazed how all the tunnels they were building and working through, and how some were resting while some were working. It was just this incredible machine type situation. Their lives were created to be productive. You know what? Our lives are created to be productive. We are meant to be productive in our lives. We're meant to create and work and do those things in our life. So, but looking at the ants, they were always working. Solomon here is showing us that our lives are to be productive. We were and are created to be productive and tend this world that Jesus has given us. We are created to work. We're created to build and tend this world and bless our families and create and produce. But when we live a lazy lifestyle, we find ourselves lacking the things that we need to live and to thrive. And that's what Solomon says. And he tells us that when that happens and we become unproductive, we choose to find ourselves in a lifestyle that is lacking physically, mentally, and spiritually. We are created to be healthy physically, mentally, and spiritually. And laziness will just take that away. And then he moves on another area of this kind of area of not just laziness, but how to live a productive life. He tells us that discord produces brokenness. That when we live in discord, we're not going to have a healthy life. Have you heard the saying that idle hands are the devil's playthings, or something similar to that? Solomon is telling us that when we live idle lives, we begin drifting into a lifestyle that produces a perverted heart. It produces that change in our heart, a heart that wants the easy way, that wants others to do the work, which leads to a heart and a lifestyle that devises and embraces schemes and cons and all those things so that they could con people to give them things. And that's not a healthy lifestyle. That's not the way we're created to be. And Solomon reminds us of that. We're created to be productive. They do that. Productive lives are happy lives. They're thriving lives. If we find ourselves today drifting to a lifestyle like a lazy lifestyle, then grab a friend, grab a mentor, grab a relative, grab somebody that you see is living a productive lifestyle and ask them to help you find a way to begin producing in your life, begin to become active in your life, begin to start doing things, building things, being active. How we are productive varies depending on our age and health. The older we get, we might not be able to be as productive as before, but we still can be productive in every age of our life. Well, we're going to start wrapping this up. I bet you didn't think that little red ants could teach us so many things about how to live healthy lifestyles, productive lifestyles, lifestyles that produce and bless others. Next week, we're going to see 7 things that Jesus dislikes. Well, really, he said 7 things that he hates. But I thought I'd soften it for us today. Well, we'll see you next week.